there's still pressure for women to pretend to fast. While when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them, you can snack all you want, you can eat, right? But we are still this misconstrued definition or perspective of haya, of what is modesty, what is haya, right? This really irked me ever since I was a teenager, because I'm like, okay, well, aren't we supposed to like be taught fiqh, right? There's like, we actually need to talk about this to understand our deen.
Yeah.
There are legal issues involved,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How can you not how can you just pretend
Yeah.
that you're not on your period? Oh my goodness, right? So how can we like normalize, or just start being active about these discussions? And because we're going to be answerable about this, right? This is one of those areas. How can we change this culture that we've built in some of our homes and communities where it's still so hush hush?
I would like us to know that when we are thinking to ourselves as women, that menses is a punishment from Allah. And part of the reason we feel that way is because of the shame surrounding it, even sometimes within people's own families. I went to visit a friend of mine once in Ramadan. We were just hanging out in her room. And when it was time to pray Asr, their family would get together every salah, whoever was home, and they would all pray together. And I knew she was on her period. And I went to go pray, and she came out too. And I looked at her, and I was like, why are you? And she was like, I was like, okay. And then she started to pray. And I was so confused, like, why are you praying? She prayed the whole salah. And then afterwards, she told me, my brothers can't know that I'm on my period. Her brothers were in their late 20s. I was really taken aback at the age that they're in their late 20s. How would they not know that women get their periods? How do they not even know? This was a home of many sisters, mashallah. And I think for us, when we feel that questions, women in Hajj have asked me, are they being punished when they get their period? Women in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, the 27th, you've been looking forward to the 27th, all of a sudden you get your period. Is it because Allah is angry with me? Is it because Allah wants to punish me? I want you to know that those are completely tied, very, very often, perhaps not 100 million%, but highly tied to the two-door society when they colonized Muslim majority lands. Because in their church indoctrination, they believed that Eve seduced Adam. This is blasphemy in Islam. That as part of the punishment for all women until the end of time, because of Eve's seduction, God forbid, hasha lillah, that every woman must feel the punishment of pain, the pain of childbirth and of menses. The church would not allow women to take medication to soften, ease the pain, the cramps of menses or about childbirth. That it's so connected to this idea of their understanding of woman in that particular church's concept of the foremother Eve, alayha salam. For us, we know that we do not hold Adam and Eve alayhima as-salam, they both made a mistake, they both repented, they were both forgiven. We do not hold that women are responsible for the sin of man or the seduction of man. But if punishment and menses are connected, it's not because of our texts, it's because of outside influences that affect our viewing. Because we have narrations of the Prophet ﷺ. When women came and would ask them questions ﷺ, about menstruation, we have multiple narrations of how the Prophet ﷺ taught on what to do. None of it includes any words that are uncomfortable or that are shameful. One time, a man came to Aisha radiallahu anha and asked her a question, and he used the word prior to Islam, prior to the Quran, which talks about وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْمَحِيضِ. Mahid is a word for menstruation. He used the word that was used prior to the Quran, clearly stating menses. And it was a word that was kind of like, I don't know if you guys use this, but when we were younger, we would say, I'm on my rag. I'm on my rag. So that would mean I'm on menses. But we would be too embarrassed to say, oh, I'm on my period. I'm on my rag. And so they had a word similar, a word that was like not menses, but like meant not to say menses. And she told him, why aren't you saying the word directly? Why aren't you saying the word? Say the word. The Quran itself says the word. So the stigma is not from our faith. The stigma is not from our Lord. And if I feel uncomfortable or worried or terrified with my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when it comes to menses, know that he chose for women to have menstruation. And it is a gift to have healthy menstruation. And if we don't, we have to go to the doctor and be concerned about why we don't have a regular cycle or what's going on with our cycle. And we, by Allah's choosing and power, have to go through this process in order for humanity to literally continue to exist. So reframing the idea of menstruation in Ramadan looks like our families letting our daughters speak and us speaking about menses like it is a normal part of human biology and life. And that also our religion itself teaches us how to honor our women in not fasting and not praying in this time so that we can take care of our bodies in it. And in submission, because submission and worship in this aspect is not worshiping, as in it is worship. Our worship is in submission to not make salah or make fasting in this time. That is what is rewarded. While we inshallah still get the reward as if we were doing the prayer and the fasting.